Most computer users don't know that what they see on their screen is created by a basic principle of on or off. The word binary refers to two, and the core of the computer acts upon two conditions, whether a tiny piece of wire is zapped with electricity or not. These impulses run through paths that we diagram on sheets of plastic. The diagram uses Boolean logic, which amount to evaluations of true or false conditions which lead to output. The stack is a place in the core of the processor that maintains all the input. If errors are found at the core level, the computer will blow its stack, no puns intended. A simple understanding of the computer's core helps me relate to the more amazing human core. Our flesh is soft matter, controlled by our brain, the motherboard of our computer, which sends electric impulses to its limbs. But let's ponder even deeper than that, right to the human's inner core. Some may call it the heart, spirit, mind, or whatever. Let's call it the controller in our central processing unit. It's the essence that evaluates input, and then tells our bodies what to do. Our thoughts are not our essence, because we can decide not to do what our thoughts tell us to. Just the fact that we have thoughts that we turn down leads me to believe we're being whispered to by unseen forces. Those forces have also been defined in many ways. We've considered them as spirits in ancient times, and now as radio waves. However, we have not absolutely defined them as originating from ourselves, but as transmissions, or input. Some definitions say the core of man is near the growing area, making decisions from gut feelings, or intuition. It's known that senses stem directly from the brain, through various biological paths. Without these functioning mechanisms in the brain, we cannot determine anything to be factual. This leaves us to reason and philosophy in attempting to pierce the realm of the unknown. So, let's assume we are part of a whole other unseen dimension. This may sound religious, but even religion stems from experiences. It's these experiences that make me ponder the very core of our being. Humans have a tendency to blow their stack, suffer heartbreak, and at these times greater control is necessary than when simply ignoring a thought. In situations where trauma or heartache may happen, our body takes over with shock syndrome. For instance, I've had a traumatic experience that completely disabled my hands. They were shaking uncontrollably. My speech was garbled. Once, the same thing happened from a simple action of picking up a phone to reconcile with a loved one that I knew would just hang up. If it wasn't trauma that caused that reaction, what was it? It seems that when the decision process affects the core of our being, the brain goes into protect mode from emotional distress, even though there is no trauma. So we cannot act as we want to, because the brain core cannot accept the possible outcome. We undoubtedly are a biological machine, but our real being is not part of it. If it were, we would be able to do exactly what we intend to, without the unexplainable loss of control. Rational deduction of computer science gives some sense to the essence of life. You might say that without electrical input and commands, our computer is dead. Even so, the body is limp without our life-giving force. I can only assume that someday, when our machine shuts down, our essence will continue being, and hopefully with an upgrade.